climate conversation, we are privileged to have Mr. Rishabh Sinha, who is the director of Plastic Fischer India Private Limited, a German-based company creating sustainable social and environmental impacts. He has an expertise in his domain with an extraordinary passion to work for our environment.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. So could you please share the process or system that works behind Plastic Fischer?
Sure. So we are trying to stop the plastic which is flowing from the river and getting into the oceans, because there is an estimate that about 8 to 12 million tons of plastic enter the oceans every year. And we are trying to stop this plastic itself in the rivers rather than getting once it's in the oceans, because that is something which is very difficult and it's almost impossible. So our focus is to select these rivers which are heavily polluted with plastic, and then we install our trash bin systems which stop this floating plastic, and then our collection team picks this trash up and takes it to our sorting facility, where it's dried and then it's sorted in different waste streams like PET, for example, MLP, single-use plastic. And then all this different plastic is baled, and then it's sent to the recyclers, and the non-recyclable plastic, for example, single-use plastic or the MLP, that is then sent for thermal recovery, where they are we have some partnerships with cement plants where they are using it for co-processing. But as a company, we have been collaborating with a lot of NGOs, local NGOs, who are trying to convey the message of marine litter and plastic pollution, and who have been organizing events on very regularly, where they engage the community to generate awareness. So this has been something which we have been doing in all our sites. For example, in Varanasi, we have collaborations with local NGOs. We have collaborations in Bangalore, in Trivandrum, and in Indonesia, also Bandung, we have collaborators, for example, River Cleanup and GIZ. So they are our partners, which are helping us to also convey this message of how and generate awareness with regards to segregation, littering, and these kind of activities. We do organize cleanups on river banks where we engage like 100 people. For example, in Varanasi, we are doing every week on Sunday river cleanups where there are like 100 participants, and then we are trying to tell them how this plastic is affecting the marine environment and what they can do personally. I mean, how they can change their habits. For example, we try to tell them that they should use cotton bags rather than plastic bags when they're going out shopping. They use aluminum bottles rather than buying PET bottles, and these kind of things. We also sometimes make things out of plastic bottles, for example, dustbins, which then we install in some of these public areas where people can understand the importance of, or they can understand how damaging this plastic is to the environment and the marine life.
So what is this 3L initiative that your organization has?
The 3L stands for low tech, low cost, and locally fabricated. We have focused on this because of one very important reason, that the scalability, how easily you can scale the project in all around the world. So if you keep your aim to plan something which is locally made and is low tech and low cost, then it's something which is very easy, from what we have experienced from our previous projects, that you can really speed this up, and then you don't have issues like, for example, importing something from abroad, and also like it's easier for you to get permissions from the government, because they think that this is not something which they cannot afford.
All right. You see, plastics are harmful to human. Similarly, it's a big threat to marine life. What are your views?
Our company was basically established because of this. I mean, the founders of this company, who are Mr. Carlson and Moritz and one of their other friend, they are from Germany, and they went for a holiday in Vietnam, and where they saw. When they were swimming, they saw so much of plastic around them that they decided to do something about this, because they felt that this is something which is definitely damaging the environment and the marine life and the ecosystem. So the base of our company, the foundation has been laid because of this issue of marine plastic pollution and how the marine life is being affected with this. So personally, like I have definitely went around India and seen the damaging effect of plastic which it has on the marine environment. There are fish species which are being affected because of this plastic pollution. There are birds which accidentally eat these plastic and also feed it to their chicks, thinking that it's a food particle because of the color of these plastics and also the smell which it emits. So this is something which has been which is bothering us every day, and that's why we are trying our best to at least stop this plastic in the rivers before it can enter the oceans.
So that was an environmental signal given to the founders of your organization.
Yeah. Definitely. That was the laying stone of our whole project.
That's great. All right. You see, single-use plastics are considered to be harmful. Ironically, the usage is high, but the recycling is almost negligible. How do you see this?
See, our focus is basically on this plastic which does not have recycling value. Most of what we collect, we cannot sell. I mean, for example, if you are recovering PET bottles or HDP or LDP, then you can sell it in the market. But for single-use plastic or MLP, they don't have a value. So we have come up with a model, something which is innovative, where companies can sponsor our cleanups or our operations. So they can sponsor for tons of plastic which we recover, and this plastic which we recover is being verified by third party from collection to the last stage where we are disposing it. So that's how we run our business. We basically have sponsors who are funding us for the tons of plastic that we collect, and this has worked out well in our experience. Like we have been already working for 1.5 years in India, and almost like 3 years in abroad, so in Indonesia. So this model has been working well, and there is always interest from these corporates or NGOs or firms who want to sponsor this, because they can then show it in their annual report that we helped to recover this much of plastic which is verified by third party. So this model has been working well for us.
When we integrate innovation with technology, it plays a vital role to control plastic pollution. Right?
There are companies which are working on alternatives. They are trying to figure out if there can be an alternative packaging, for example, which is biodegradable or something which is eco-friendly, which is not harmful as like plastic, which won't stay so long in the environment. These things will take time, and they definitely but the research has been going on. However, the current situation is that the plastic pollution has been increasing, and it will increase even more in the coming years. So the current I mean, the thing which will work now would be that we try to recover as much plastic as possible from the environment, and also try to invest our efforts and time into alternatives, because these things takes time, research take time, and so we have to also have some plan in for the near future, and something which would then come up later, maybe when after a couple of decades, maybe, or 10 years, for example, which would be entirely replace plastic. But that is something which will definitely take time. For now, I think we have to focus on creating infrastructure in developing countries where the recycling rates can be increased, and we can recover as much as possible from the environment.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. And is there any limitation to this system? Do you think that there are certain areas or there are certain ways in which we cannot implement the project?
We are a team of young individuals, and we have a lot of energy and enthusiasm, and we always try to move fast and work very hard. There are some other challenges which are related to the system. I mean, monsoons pose a big challenge. In the beginning, when we started testing our systems, then we realized that there are a lot of things which we have to understand here. For example, the changing water levels during dry season and the monsoon. So our system in the beginning, the designs which we had did not work that well with the changes in the levels of water. So then we worked on it, and then we improved our design so that it can come up and down with the water level changes, and that we have rectified. And then there are still challenges. For example, there is a storm that can bring a lot of trash in our systems, and then there are situations where we have to open the system, or we have to put in a release mechanism. So these kind of things are the challenges which we face on a daily basis, but our team is constantly working on this, and we are improving our systems, and the next deployment which we do is always better than what we did last time. And also, since our systems are low cost and low tech, we do not expect it to work 100%. I mean, we are always ready to sometimes open our systems, or make changes to it, or for example, take it away for a while if it does not work in a particular situation, and replace it with something which will work. We always try to be very aggressive about designing and bringing new solutions in different systems, because every river, every drain has a different situation and different conditions. So we have to always make changes, make additions, think about how we can do it better. Until now, we have been managed to recover about 128 tons of plastic from our different sites. We were one of the earliest organization which came into this field. But there are some other organization, for example, Ocean Cleanup, which is a big organization, and it's based in Netherlands. They are basically trying to recover plastic from the oceans, which it's something which is debatable if that will work or not. But then they also have then later on they developed the system to which they could install in rivers where they can intercept this waste, and they call their system as interceptors. But they are very expensive, and they are usually being I think installed in developed countries, if I'm correct. Maybe they're mostly operating in Europe, I guess. And then in India, I have there is one company who is also involved in this kind of trash collection systems. But then they do not take care of the whole process. They do not collect the trash. They just install this system and they leave the trash there, and sometimes their system is just left like that, and it opens up, and then there is nobody to manage it. So there are a few of these companies who are also working.
There needs to be a community involvement and behavioral change as well.
Definitely, until unless we change the behavior of people and especially the young generations, and then otherwise, this would never stop. But it is also important that we try to somehow stop this marine plastic entering the oceans, because this is happening every day. Every day there are 2 trucks full of garbage which are being dumped every minute actually. So this also has to be stopped, and that we are already working on. And then our partners organization and we are as well have been trying to do like all these activities where we are engaging the community and sending out this message. So this has to go simultaneously, but I agree that this has to behavior change, which you said, is something which has to be focused right from the beginning. I mean, in the schools, the kids have to understand this, and then they will be carrying it forward. The next generation will take care of it if we try to do something now. The data which we are collecting is something which can be used to assess that, okay, does this behavior change or the community engagement plan worked or not in that community? I mean, if you see less trash in our systems over like next 1 year or 2 years, then we can, on that basis, understand that our interventions in the community were they effective or not. So that's also something which our system is capable of, and our data is capable of. I mean, nobody before knew that, okay, how much plastic is being dumped every day into the Ganga River from, for example, Asi or Varna River, which flow in the Varanasi. But now we know that, okay, 8 tons, for example, or 6 tons is flowing into the Ganga River via these river systems every month. So, and then with our other initiatives, for example, community engagement and all that, we can assess that, okay, this number is decreasing, and that our all these activities are actually being fruitful.
You see, 80% of ocean plastics was river plastic. Fortunately, we have the solution that your company provides. However, what about rest of the 20%? Are we expecting more innovations from your organization?
We are now primarily focused on recovering plastic which ends up in the river and which leads to the oceans. So that is our expertise. We are not into like, for example, we are not developing alternatives or managing municipal waste, but there are other organizations which are working on this. There are big organizations which are working with municipalities, and they are trying to provide solutions for municipal solid waste. Our focus is basically on those unmanaged waste stream which ends up in the drains or the rivers. 1.5 years back, we started from Bangalore, and now we have Varanasi and Trivandrum already we have projects running in these 3 cities now in India, and we are trying to expand as much as possible, because only then it will make sense. We cannot just think about 1 or 2 rivers, but here we have to think about the whole river systems in India, for example. And we are trying to connect with these governments, the state governments in all these different states in India. And we're trying to go there and tell them that, look, we are trying to stop this plastic going into the oceans, and we're trying to help you here with trash management, and we are also trying to help people get jobs locally. So our plan is to expand in India extensively over the next coming years. We already have we have talks happening with different municipalities, in different states in India. But maybe in the future we will also be thinking about expanding our project into these different fields.
You have an expertise in this domain. So, what do you suggest to anyone and any of our viewers that what to do or what not in their journal, routine?
Personally, whenever I'm around meeting new people or talking with my friends, I definitely always try to tell them about this menace which plastic pollution is creating, and what we being on. I mean, we have the biggest brains on any animal has, and still, but we have made the earth so terrible because of our activities, the consumerism. So that is something which we have to always think, okay, that are we developing in a real sense, or are we going down? I mean, our ancestors, they used to live in mud houses and use terracotta pots and eat on these banana leaves and these kind of things. We are so eco-friendly, and now, though we say that okay, we are knowledge, we are educated, but still we have made the whole environment so polluted: the air pollution, the soil pollution, water pollution. So these things are something which affect me every day, and I try my best to convey this message of how we can be more eco-friendly and how we can be more sensitive to the environment around us, mother nature, the animals around us, because we have the capacity to either destroy or to protect. And this is something which we have to let others know. And for example, talking about plastic, we can definitely try to. There are alternatives. For example, if you want to buy a soap, you can check for these brands which sell soap without plastic packaging. There are shampoo bars which you can buy. There are you can bring your own cotton bag to the supermarket to carry your groceries.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable time. And it was pleasure talking to you. Hope the organization will create more impacts and will have more reach over here in India and other parts of the world as well.
Thank you so much. And I would request companies which are interested to collaborate with us, sponsor our operations, Indian companies, and so that they can also be part of something which is such a noble cause of marine, working towards reducing marine litter.